a little bit later on. And I thought I would start with Jelly Roll Morton as usual. And in honor of our next president, this is Mr. Joe. Just checking the video. Yeah, Mr. Joe by Jolly Roll Morton. It was written for Joe King Oliver. And in fact, I made an arrangement of that piece for a project back in London where we were recording and rehearsing some music in the style of King Oliver's Creole Jazz Band. So we actually did some recordings with that project, which were pretty cool, and we're going to release them next year, early in the year, probably in January or February. So stay tuned for that as time goes on. Okay. Anyway, although it was, of course, dedicated to King Oliver, we need to rededicate it at the moment to Mr. Biden, who's going to, well, we'll see. Hopefully do some great stuff. Very excited about that, as are we all, I think. All right, I'm going to play now a tune which was written by Duke Ellington and recorded by a lot of different bands, including McKinney's Cotton Pickers and let's see, the Arkansas Travelers with Red Nichols. I just got that 78 recently. Pretty interesting version of the tune. We used to play it with the Vitality 3 with Nick Ball and David Horniblow back in London. And it's a great tune. I heard that the amazing stride master Dick Wellstood did a cool version of this as a solo piece, and I never really thought of it as a solo piece before I heard his version. So I'm going to give it a try now. It's the Birmingham Breakdown. All right, Birmingham Breakdown by Duke Ellington. That's a cool song. Got lots of interesting bits. All right. What's next on the list here? Excuse me. I think I'll stick with Duke Ellington for another tune and an attempt, in another attempt to take a band tune and put it on the piano. I thought I'd give a go at that old classic Black Beauty. Black Beauty by Duke Ellington. That tune is actually, I think it was originally a piano solo. I misspoke earlier by saying, hi guys, thanks for watching. Steve, Jonathan, Guillaume. Wow, we got people all over the world. Always a pleasure to see everyone tuning in. Anyway, I misspoke earlier. It was originally a piano solo, I believe, and then orchestrated for the band. There is a recording of Ellington playing it as a piano solo, which I have somewhere in the basement. I shall have to dig it out. All right, a bit of Ellington for you today. I'm going to play one more Ellington tune a little bit later on, but for the moment, I think it would be nice to play something off my solo album as a little plug for the album. I'll give you the title track, No Local Stops by Willie the Lion Smith. Played it a few times on the live streams, but those were back in the spring, so hopefully you're not tired of it. I'm not tired of it. It's a great piece. It was written by Willie the Lion Smith in the 1930s and published as sheet music, but not recorded by him. It was recorded in the 50s by Ralph Sutton in a really cool recording. And here is another go at No Local Stops. Great tune by Willie the Lion Smith. It's the title track of my solo album, which is available on Rivermont Records. And I believe the link is in the description, if I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, somebody tell me. No, yeah, it's there at the Bandcamp page. So, here we go. No Local Stops. That's No Local Stops there by Willie the Lion Smith. And it's on the CD if you'd like to buy the CD. If you would like to buy the download, feel free. Link is over there on whatever side. I don't know, depending on where you're watching. Also, there's a tip jar, so of course tips are greatly appreciated. Again, not required, as everyone is in, the same bizarre boat at the moment. But anyway, if you're so inclined, I do appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm going to play one more tune from the CD, and it's a tune that I recorded with Colin Hancock in January of this year in Austin, and it was recorded onto a actual 78, a plastic one that we fashioned out of some sort of industrial grade plastic. And Colin has been recording cylinders for a long time, and recently got a 78 cutter as well. And so we were experimenting with some sort of period recording techniques. I did a version of this tune on there. You can hear it on the CD there, but this will be a little better fidelity for those of you who are annoyed about the fact that we have a very scratchy 78 recording as the last track on the album. So here's Burt Williams by Jelly Roll Morton, which was dedicated, of course, to the famous Bahamian comedian who was a big star in the 1920s. Burt Williams. Burt Williams by Jelly Roll Morton there. It's a great tune. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's getting a little more rainy here, as per usual, but Hope it's nice where you are if you're not in town here in Portland. And hope you're enjoying the music. I'm going to continue on now with a couple of standards, I think, or just tunes as they are. And how about, I've been listening a bit to some of the great Chicago bands of the sort of early 30s, the early Eddie Condon recordings and Bud Freeman, and they have such a nice feel. And they play some pretty cool tunes, kind of normal tunes that you hear a lot, but it's kind of nice to return to those from time to time. So how about a good old classic, Nobody's Sweetheart Now? Nobody's Sweetheart Now. All right, I'm going to do something rather interesting and play a couple of tunes by a guy called Dink Johnson. Probably not in a row, as they're a bit similar, but Yeah, so this guy was a very interesting musician. He was the drummer in the original Creole band, which is one of the first ever jazz bands, which never recorded. And then he played clarinet on Kid Ory's first recordings made in Los Angeles in the 1920. And so he was there at the very beginning. His brother was Bill Johnson, who was the bass player in King Oliver's band, also played banjo in that band, and the sort of originator of slap bass, or one of the very important early slap bass players. And his sister was Anita Gonzalez, who was Jelly Roll Morton's West Coast mistress. So it was a very interesting sort of family situation there. And Dink ended up in Portland later in his life and worked as a cook, cooking New Orleans food at a jazz club, but he also played piano, a very stomping kind of Morton-style piano. So he even made one record where he played piano, drums, and clarinet all overdubbed. Excuse me, in a, sort of Colin Hancock style. But he made some hilarious and very stomping piano records, and I've been doing a little research on Portland jazz history recently, so I came upon his name and story and thought I would learn some of his tunes. They're not particularly complicated, but they're very exciting. And let's see. This is one he recorded a couple of times in the 40s called Stomp the Lowdown. Yeah, there you go. Stomp the Lowdown by Dink Johnson. And not, it's kind of amalgam a bunch of other things, but a nice feel there on that tune. Okay, let's see. What time is it? 12:36. How about a couple... Oh, did I come at the wrong time, Nick? Uh-oh. Maybe I misspoke on my post about the time of the broadcast here. Sorry about that, folks. I've got a lot of things going on and can't keep track of everything. All right, so I'd like to play something a bit slower now. And I think Let's see. Look at the list. Okay, this is another beautiful tune, which I heard first on a Bud Freeman record as well, like the one I played a couple tunes ago, and it's called "What's the Use." What's the use? I don't remember who wrote it. Somebody can write it and tell me. Andy probably knows. He's watching. And he's probably also going to tell me that I forgot the verse, which I did. But I'll remember it next time. Anyway, it's a great tune. Very nice modulation on the bridge. I'm going to play now. How about Grandpa's Spells? Grandpa Spells by Jelly Roll Morton. You know, Grandpa falling down there in the middle. What can you say? It's a great tune. And I think I'm going to play another Duke Ellington tune. There were a few earlier on if you were tuned in. And this is sort of in another of his many sort of jungle blues veins. And it's called Shout 'em Aunt Tilly. Shadowmont Tilly there by Duke Ellington. That's a great tune. Yeah, pretty low down. Thanks for watching, everybody. Colin, Andy, good to see you here. Isham Jones. Oh, yeah, maybe Isham Jones did write that. I'm not sure about. Well, I suppose I have my computer right in front of me. I can look and see. Not that. I mean, what's the use? Which I played a minute ago. Here it is. It was written by Isham Jones. Yes. Andy Shum for the win once again. No surprise there. Everyone should tune in, by the way, on, I think it's Saturdays that Andy does his solo piano thing now, back up and running from Chicago. And Stephen Pistorius, who was here earlier, is doing Jazz from His Porch in New Orleans pretty regularly as well. So there's lots of good stuff happening online, as much as there is not anything good happening in person, sadly. But, one day this will all be over, and we will have a great and enormous party. Okay. A tip jar is there in the description if you feel like contributing. It's greatly appreciated, of course, as there are no gigs. But, everyone's also in unique situations, so don't feel obligated, of course. But thanks, if so. And got time for a couple more. I'm going to play another. It is Saturday, says Andy. Yes, Saturday at 8 p.m. Tune into Andy Shum's solo live stream. I'm going to play another tune by Dink Johnson now, and this one is a bit interesting. So, as I mentioned, this guy who used to live in Portland, the brother of Bill Johnson, the famous bass player from King Oliver's band. Dink Johnson recorded this tune, and he said this is the Cannonball Rag, and then played it. So I went in and looked up the sheet music to the actual Cannonball Rag, and as far as I can tell, the only sort of resemblance this bears to the published sheet music of Cannonball Rag is the introduction. And then he kind of does his Dink Johnson thing. So I figured this week I would learn Dink Johnson's version of the Cannonball Rag, and then maybe next week I'll learn the published version, and we can have a compare and contrast. But anyway, here's the Cannonball Rag, so to speak, as recorded by Dink Johnson in the mid-'40s. And it's quite exciting. So here we go. Yeah, there you go. Bit of Dink Johnson. That's something, you don't hear every day. But his recordings are hilarious. He sings along and makes weird noises. And yeah, he says Mr. Johnson signing off at the end of every song. Really a trip. So have a listen. All right, everybody. I got time for one more tune. What's it going to be? I already played Grandpa Spells. That would have been a good finisher. How about the old Wolverine Blues? Classic. Classic Jelly Roll Morton number recorded by a number of other people, of course. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good to see you here. Don't have much else to say. Hope everyone's staying healthy, and we're gonna get through the winter, and hope everybody stays safe over Thanksgiving. Has a good holiday, such as it will be, unusual as it will be. I'm gonna sit in this house and eat food. So there you have it. Anyway, here's the Wolverine Blues finish up. Thanks again for tuning in. Tip jar and CDs link are over there in the description or below or on whatever side you see it on. Thanks for your support, and I'll be back in 2 weeks with some more music. Try to learn the original published sheet music of the Cannonball Rag for comparison, and some other new things in the works. I'm going to be done with this term of graduate school in about 10 days, so I'll have plenty of time to learn some new material, which I'm very excited about as well. So here we go with Wolverine Blues. And, another mention and thanks to Rebecca Sanborn, who refurbished this piano, which used to be in Sanborn's restaurant. It's from 1910, Gabler from New York. It's a great instrument. I'm very excited to have it here at the house, and nice to play some music from the era on a piano from the era as well. So thanks to Rebecca for the piano. All right, here's the Wolverine Blues. thanks for tuning in. See you in 2 weeks' time. And meanwhile, check out Andy's stream on Saturday night. Steve Pistorius all the time from his porch in New Orleans. I saw that Craig Ventresco and Meredith Axelrod got to 250 shows. They're doing a nightly show. So there's lots of good stuff on Facebook. Keep tuning in, and thanks for your support. And see you next time. All righty. Have a good Thanksgiving as well.